Well, welcome this afternoon. It is such a privilege to be amongst boxing royalty. Joe Cortez, referee and boxing legend, is here in the studio where we are actually in a Legend's boxing arena, and we are here with Susan Pratt. We are introducing or reintroducing the Joe Cortez Show. It is an ongoing show that celebrates celebrities, community leaders, businesses, and otherwise. Joe, welcome. Tell us about the Joe Cortez Show.
Well, the Joe Cortez got a lot to do with helping out the community. I like to get the fans out there, our viewers, to learn a little bit about life in general. People think I talk only about boxing. I like to talk about everything in general. That's why we have Susan on the show with us. Susan will be my co-host on the Joe Cortez Show from now on. And we'll be talking about different topics of all walks of life. But the thing is that I want you guys to know that there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Don't ever give up on yourself. Love yourself and believe in yourself, and making sure that you can go ahead in life.
And Susan, you had the opportunity to be on a talk show with someone with a great deal of experience and exposure in the world of media. What does it feel like to have Joe as your co-host?
Absolutely amazing. I mean, this is an opportunity that I can only dream of. I have worked my entire life my goal has always been to make a difference in people's lives, and Joe and I have the same passion, dealing with the senior community and just dealing with a lot of people to make a difference. So, truly a blessing.
And Joe, of course, your reputation in boxing is legendary, as I had mentioned before. How many championship fights have you refereed?
Well, according to BoxRec, they had me for 176 World Championship fights and a total of over 1,000 professional fights in 35 years as a referee. I retired 10 years ago.
And your name is synonymous with boxing, but as you had mentioned a second ago, you're very, very interested in broadening your horizons and really introducing people to different aspects of your interests and friends of yours. And I guess the Joe Cortez Show is a reflection of that.
Well, I've been blessed in so many ways in life, and I felt that it's always good to pay it forward. Let other people out there try to get ahead. A lot of individuals on there don't believe in themselves. And I'm trying to show you that, you know, when I first started out as a teenager, coming from a single parent home in Spanish Harlem, it was difficult growing up, and growing up with only a mother raising up 4 boys by herself. It wasn't easy, but she gave us the confidence of giving us the love and attention the best that she could. And to this day, I still feel that the void in my heart of being not giving the love and attention I should have gotten, like having a father image. I didn't have that growing up. So, I've been blessed in so many ways. I said, I got to help other people out there to believe in themselves. If I made it, you can make it as well.
Yes, being a mentor, I know that's something that's really important to you, Joe, and for you, Susan, being relatively new in the world of media, how does it feel? As I know it's exciting working with Joe, but actually being mentored and taught about media from someone, again, with so much experience, I guess it would really raise your comfort level.
Oh, I am so out of my comfort level, but working with Joe, he makes it so easy. It's unbelievable to describe the passion that he has in his heart for others, and it just makes it come so natural. So truly, again, this is an opportunity I could only dream of, and very thankful to Joe for this.
Joe and I have been friends for a few years, and one of the things that I've always appreciated about you, Joe, is your willingness to embrace the new technology. I mean, we are literally doing something that 10 years ago, 15 years ago, we wouldn't have been able to do. You having been around media for a long time, why so much curiosity about the new media?
Well, what's happening is that, with today's technology, the way things are today, especially after that COVID, when COVID hit, everybody was a lockdown. All the kids were not allowed to go out and play. They shut down the schools. Everything, you had to work from home. So I said to myself, there's got to be a way to have people to understand what's going on around us, especially these young folks who are not accustomed to being locked in like that. They're not able to socialize. So mentally, you feel kind of depressed. You feel like kind of lost. Same thing with the seniors. And it's still going on today. And I said, with social media that's out there, that's a tool for me to utilize to talk to individuals, reach out to them, to show them where there's still life ahead of us. This only temporary thing that's going on right now. It's going to be over before you know it. But meanwhile, we have to try to work ourselves out of it. And by having social media, this modern day technology that we have now. I will take advantage of it. That's why we're doing this today, to share our knowledge and wisdom with you fans out there.
Yeah, and seniors are definitely an underrepresented community in our society for sure, Joe and Susan. And so you're taking the time to highlight the baby boomers, the older people in our population who bring so much to us. Just being around people with the experience and all of the life that you have to share. I think a lot of young people can get a great deal of knowledge by tuning into the Joe Cortez show and just being around older people.
Well, I don't know about older because I feel like a young teenager. I still feel young at heart and mentally and physically. That's why I'm always doing these shows, keep myself active. Because I say, if you don't use it, you lose it. So I feel like, keep myself thinking of what I'm going to be doing next. I have already planned next week's show and the week after. I got people already lined up. I'm already doing my homework to keep myself mentally fit. A lot of times, a lot of us seniors, we kind of lay back and think that it's the end of the world for us. No, it's not. To me, I got the best chapter of my life coming up yet. The last chapter is going to be my best one. Believe me, I promise you that.
Yeah, I've always admired the enthusiasm that Joe brings to life, and I think it really comes across when he does these shows and these interviews. You can tell that he believes in what he's talking about and that he wants to engage people, and I think that that's very important when you are in media or you're wanting to be a mentor, right, Joe, is that people truly believe that, hey, you believe in this, you believe life is good, and you're transmitting that to them.
Well, I believe that if you share it with your folk, with your brothers, your sisters, your parents, your neighbors, your friends, and share with in the community, share that knowledge and wisdom that you have if you're a senior. You get out there and get involved with the younger folks because they need a little guidance, especially today what's going on around the world. I mean, there's so many things that are going wrong. I mean, every time I put on the news, sometimes I hate to put on the news because every time I put on the news, I see something negative every day, some shootings all over the place. In the last couple of days, in California, you had like 3 massacre shootings. I mean, it was just unbelievable. I mean, we had a shooting here in Las Vegas. I'm going to have a guest on my show next week on the Joe Cortez show, a guy by the name of Anthony Lucas. Anthony Lucas was out of the big event that they had, a big concert here in Las Vegas. The 58 individuals got murdered by this crazy guy from the Mandalay Bay. He broke a window, got a rifle, was shooting right across the street, across the avenue where they're having a concert. And I mean, there's so much going on out there, and there's people out there that are just mentally, they don't have it. Something's wrong with them. And I wonder what the hell's going on in this world. What can we do to make them think differently and to stop shooting each other? I mean, they must be angry about something. Either then they're angry with themselves, they got angry at somebody, whether it's their family member, a neighbor, a son or daughter, something. Something is always wrong. We've got to get to the bottom of this to see what it is. And I think by having shows like this and bringing individuals on the show to share and show, you got to have a heart. Care for one another, love one another, stop killing each other. Let's make it happen. The sooner the better.
So many people nowadays, Joe and Susan, are getting their information via podcasts. And so I think the value that the two of you are going to be bringing with this show is just that. That's where people go for answers nowadays. They go to YouTube or any of the social media platforms and they seek out people who they feel can inspire them. And you just never know, Joe, and I know you know this, how one thing that you might say to someone who could be off track, having it really hard in life, just hearing a word of inspiration might completely move that person in a different direction and they make different choices than they were making before.
Exactly. I believe that if you believe that you can make things happen, I don't care what color you are. Like, I'm Hispanic, and I like to share. She's from
the East Coast. I'm Irish and Dutch.
And here's my brother behind me here. Mm-hmm. And, we're all different colors, but we all have good hearts. We care about people. We love people. A guy I got to meet, Guy Dawson, a number of years ago. As soon as I met this guy, I said, wait a minute, this is my kind of guy. Good guy. He got a good heart, intelligent, wants to make things happen, wants to share his knowledge and wisdom out there with individuals. I said, yeah, let's do it. And that's why we're doing these shows today, to have you guys to see who we are and what we're about to give you guys in the very near future.
One thing I did see before I came in, Joe, that I wanted to comment on is on one of your license plates of your vehicles, you talk about boxing being power. When we think of power, we think of the power of obviously these boxers, right? And you've watched so many of them, but can you give a little significance of that license plate out there?
Well, it's just a license plate. You know, it's a license plate. Well, it's on the back of one of my cars on the Hummer. It says boxing is power. I put letters on, not on the plate, but on the back of the Hummer. Boxing is power. Then I got my license plate. It says boxing ref, BOX and REF. You know, and I just feel like, you know, I want to just share with people that boxing is powerful for me, and it can be powerful for you. And I say, you know, when I get fighters that go into the ring, sometimes I get these young kids, these amateur kids, I talk to them, I say, hey, young folks, come here, I want to talk with you. You know what? Sometimes we make it in the ring as a champion, but main thing that you want to learn about boxing is that it makes you a champion inside the ring or outside the ring. So wherever, if you don't make it inside the ring, you make it outside the ring. So it gives you all that, you learn that discipline and that knowledge and wisdom that you get from boxing, because you have coaches. A lot of these kids come from broken homes like I did, and we need somebody to give us a guidance and get us on the right track. So I believe that you learn a lot of discipline when you get into boxing. You get to learn how to do things. You get to listen to your coaches. See, when you got a coach, you get to respect that coach. Whatever he says, you have to do all the time. Always believe in what your coach is telling you. Or, you know, if you got other fighters, you see that everybody, you have to go training in the morning, go running at 5 o'clock in the morning, run 3 or 4 miles every day, and then go to the gym and work out after school. And you go to work out 2 or 3 hours in the gym. And all this discipline to do that, to go to school and to sometimes have a part-time job and to work out, is kind of difficult, but that's the discipline that gets you, the coaches teach you that. And that's how you get to be a better person in life. And you grow up to having that feeling of, you know, I made it, and, you know, I didn't take the escalator, I took the stairs, you know, to make it in life.
Yeah, I've always appreciated, Joe, conversations we've had about different things related to your upbringing or boxing, is the focus on discipline and developing good habits. And these are things that they're timeless principles. The world may change, but the things that Joe was just talking about a second ago are just as valuable today as they were in the 50s or the 60s or at any time in life.
Yeah, I believe that, Susan, I want you to explain to them how you grew up, you know, how you learned with your family, your sisters and brothers, how you grew up. Tell the folks out there about your upbringing.
Well, we originally moved here to Nevada from the East Coast back in 1990, but it was an entire family move. My parents, my sisters, children, nieces, nephews, everyone. My family is a very tight-knit group. Similar to Joe, I was a single mom, raised my daughters on my own since they were 2 and 4, and now they're in their 30s, and I'm very proud of the accomplishments I've made with them. So, very tight-knit family. We had talks all the time, dinner time, were always conversations. The TV would go on later at night. We would talk about everyone's day, and a great tight-knit unity. That's what my family's all about.
Yeah, you definitely have that aura about you, Susan, as if of unity, as Joe had mentioned a second ago. About, and I guess maybe some of that was instilled in you, as you had mentioned before, from having a very tight-knit family environment growing up.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I have learned over the past several months in working so close with Joe and doing some of the meetings for Aging in Place that we've worked on, and the impact that he's having on the seniors, but the young generation as well, is that he's a definite champion inside the ring as well as outside. So, and he walks and talks that he's an amazing person.
Yeah, it's great to kind of cross over, Joe, and touch multiple generations. Having that influence that you talked about on the younger people, but then again, also being able to affect seniors as well.
Yes, I love talking to the seniors. I mean, I care for everybody out there in general, because that's my makeup. That's the kind of guy I am. But I like talking to the seniors. We have a friend, a mutual friend, Deanne and Cameron, who's involved with she's a director. She was appointed as director for the senior. It was a senior program.
She is with the chairman for the National Aging in Place that we're a part of as well. Also, she is with the City Council, and she is on the advisory board for the senior community for a section out here. So very, very impactful. She's also a mindset counselor. So she's striving to work not just with individuals, but with the corporations to get their people, their employees back on track, and the unity amongst them as well.
Yeah, so that's what we like doing. We like to get involved with the seniors as well as with the kids. There's up in North Las Vegas, the family courthouse, there's a judge there named Nali Terrell. And I met her one day at some event, and she happened to be a boxing fan. She saw me walking by. Mr. Cortez, come here a minute. She was sitting at a table. She was campaigning back then for running for I think it was a third term as a judge in North Las Vegas, a family court judge. And she happened to like boxing. She said, I love boxing, Mr. Cortez. I've been watching you as a referee. And she said, I like to, we have a program where we have the juvenile delinquents that come in to the courthouse, and sometimes it's mandatory that they attend there with their parents. I would like to see one day if you would come by and talk to them as well, and get a couple of champions to come with you and talk to these teenagers about the do's and don'ts in life. And I said, sure, I would love to. So, she had me go to an event one day and talk to the youngsters and the parents as well. We had some prisoners in shackles behind us. A couple of champions were with me, and we were talking to the audience in the courtroom. And so and she happened to love boxing so much. I told her, I said, you like boxing so much. How about if I get you involved and become an amateur boxing judge? She said, oh, that would be a dream come true. Well, before you know it, I got her in, and she became a boxing judge in the amateur rank. And she gave me about 9 years in the amateurs, judging amateur fights. One day I said, I think you're ready to go pro now. She said, pro? I said, yes. So I invited her down to the commission, and we put on the agenda to make her a professional boxing judge. She's been a professional boxing judge as well for the last 5 or 6 years. So, the thing is helping out there, helping out the community, helping the kids, but by the same token, you're helping out other individuals. And little did I would know back then that I would meet a family court judge who loved boxing, especially a female. And here she is, a professional boxing judge in Nevada named Nali Terrell. If you're watching, Nali, good luck. We love you always. Keep up the good work and keep your guards up at all times.
I did have a question that I wanted to ask you, actually, Joe, is where did you come up with the tagline, firm but fair?
Fair but firm, well?
Fair but firm, excuse me. I don't know why I always screw that up, but you always get it right.
No. People think I screwed it up. I call it fair but firm. That's it. It should be, the other way around.
Oh, really?
I was doing an interview like we are today, and somebody said, Joe, what does it take to be a good referee, so many big fights, to take control? I said, well, two things you got to do. You got to be fair with the fighters, but by the same token, you got to be firm, But then I was watching the interview, and I said, well, fair but firm. I kind of like that. I said, Mills Lane, may he rest in peace, he used to say, let's get it on. I said, I like that, Mills Lane, but I said, I'm going to come up with something a little different. And I came up with, I'm fair, but I'm firm. Touch them up. And people loved it, and they know me as Mr. Fair but Firm.
Yeah, it's become a legendary quote throughout the years, and something that I really think suits you on all aspects. And I really appreciated having the opportunity to speak with the two of you today, Susan Pratt and the legendary referee, Joe Cortez, and talk show host, and really looking forward to hearing from the two of you more through these podcasts, reaching audiences to offer inspiration. Do either of the two of you have anything else you want to share with the audience?
Well, I just want to let viewers know that you can watch my shows on Facebook and on the YouTube channel, and pretty soon I'll be doing now with Guy Dawson, who will be interviewing me. We'll be doing shows. He'll be directing what we're doing with the new show. Can you tell him about where we're going to be headed with our new programs?
Yep, so you'll be able to see broadcasts of the Joe Cortez Show at prconnectionsradio.com. That's the website. And as he had mentioned before, also all the social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. We're going to be giving a lot of exposure to these wonderful interviews that Joe does. Joe and Susan working together. We're really looking forward to bringing a massive amount of exposure. And Joe, as I had talked to you about, you have some of the most iconic interviews out there with your friends who are celebrities and people from the boxing world, and just being able to highlight more of them along with just ordinary people It's just a great combination. I think that the two of you are going to touch through these interviews.
Yeah, we also have a mutual friend, a guy. We have Sal, who's involved with the sports circus, and he has his program. He wants us to be part of what I'm doing with my show. And you say you and him have worked together. He told me that he's done some work with you in the past, so he wants to do some shows with him as well. I said, I'm willing to do 1 million shows out there with all people from all walks of life, because I like to get as much exposure and information to our viewers out there as much as possible, because I think it's helping people, and the more connections we have with people like your friend Sal, with Sports Circus, we can also, you keep on building and building to make sure that we reach out to all the individuals that need help today.
Yeah, Sal Tozzolino is a great guy. The Sports Circus is a platform that has been, I remember when he just got started with that, and he has really developed a huge following all across the country. And like you mentioned, Joe, it's all about working together to build exposure. And this new media allows us to be able to be extremely flexible with what we do, right? We remember the days, Joe, when all we had was cable TV, or before we had cable TV, we only had a few channels, but nowadays with this social media, you can reach a lot of people.
I remember when the TV was black and white, never mind cable.
Right.
And we had to put like a little plastic screen on over the screen. It was colored with blue on the top, and a little brownish on the bottom to make it look like you're watching color TV.
Oh.
It was back in the days, man. I mean, it was unbelievable. The way things have developed with modern day technology, all the information, all the different platforms out there, able to reach people around the world with all that was going on. You know what's going on any place in the world at a split second. You just are turning on, pressing a button on your computer, and you can see live interviews all around the world. So today is a different lifestyle.
Yeah, the new media is so powerful. Yeah. And again, I really appreciated speaking with the two of you today. Looking forward to doing these podcasts and just touching lives. Again, I know that that's something that's very important to you, Joe, and Susan as well, you being his co-host. I know he has that same sense of you. And so, yes, for the audience out there, hey, Joe Cortez has still got a lot to say, huh, Joe?
Yeah, keep your guards up at all time, protect us at all time. Remember, we're fair, but we're firm. Take care. God bless.
Thanks for tuning in to us today. See you soon on the airwaves.